All right, boys and girls, today we're going to really be talking about crafting and writing some really powerful endings. And we're going to look at some of our mentor text, The Writing on the Wall and Tia's Bad Day. And good writers really examine the lead and the picture the lead has and really wrap it up in the end and make it connect in their ending. So our first mentor text, The Writing on the Wall. In the beginning, if I go back, it starts out with, my mother and I were in the kitchen. She was braiding my hair. I heard my friend Jake outside the cabin. He called, Maria, I have something to tell you. It sounded important. Mom, are you done yet? I asked. I was getting antsy. Mom tied the last braid. She used a rubber band, then she patted the top of my head. You're done, she smiled, but don't forget. Forget what? I asked her. A sad look came over my mother's face. When I saw that look, I remembered. This was our special morning, right? So the beginning was all about the special morning with Mom. And as we kept reading, if you remember, Maria had a really hard time trying to decide, do I go with my mom? And she was so eager to go with Jake. And so that's what she chose to do. So she had a challenge within herself, a conflict within herself of which to do. And in the end, it says, Mom didn't say a word. She just hugged me. Then she took my hand. We walked away from the cabin. We headed to the big rock. This was where we liked to watch the waves wash ashore. The morning sun followed us, smiling brightly. So we know at the beginning her struggle was in between, do I go with Jake even though I really want to, but I don't want to disappoint my mom? And her problem was she went with Jake, and then she was late to her mom, and her mom was disappointed. But in the end, do you see the ending? It brought that struggle that Maria had, and in the end, the morning sun followed us, smiling brightly. And it talked about how her and her mom hugged, and they just walked to go watch the waves and have their picnic on the big rock. So that was an ending that connected back to the beginning, which is what we're looking for, that powerful ending that really wraps it all up. Some questions you can ask yourself, is my ending believable? I think Maria's ending was very believable. We've all been in that spot before where we're torn of what's the right thing to do, and sometimes we've chosen the wrong thing, just like Maria did. But her mom accepted that apology just by holding hands, hugging tightly, and they walked off, and it was okay. So it definitely could happen in real life. It was believable. Does it show how the main character changed? I think Maria, the main character, did change. I think she would make a different choice next time, right? And she felt bad about it. So, do you think there was a lesson learned in this story? You think about that. I think we could all learn a lesson there as well. Which amazing writer, how she wrote it. Now, Tia's Bad Day. Tia's Bad Day in the beginning. Now this author used a third person point of view, and I know we're really working on the first person, so don't let that trick you. Let's just focus on the beginning of the story. It says, Tia knew that it was going to be a bad day. First, she overslept, so she had to rush. She raced down the stairs. Jamal, Jalissa, Brooke, and Luke were waiting for her. Sorry I'm late again, Tia said. That's okay, Jamal replied. We can still make it to school on time, but hurry, no dawdling. They ran all the way. Tia slid into her seat, and then she heard a ding. The late bell rang. So there's her beginning. We already know that Tia's expecting it to be a bad day. And now, as we go back to the end, after the character hopefully has changed, and see if it's a real problem and a real ending, it says, 10 minutes ago, Tia was in a bad mood. Many bad things happened that day. Now she felt good. The only thing that's different, she thought, is that now I'm thinking about good things. Mr. Morgan is being nice to me. My friends are helping me. I am a lucky girl. At first, the replanted flowers sagged a little, but as Mr. Morgan watered them, they perked up. They turned their faces to the sun. Now here's the ending. You know what, Mr. Morgan, Tia said. I think this bad day is going to end up being pretty fantastic. So it started out with Tia already knowing, Tia knew it was going to be a bad day with all of her negative reasons why, right? Throughout the story and all the problems that she struggled with. And in the end, her ending loops right back to the beginning. And she ended with, I think this bad day is going to end up being pretty fantastic. So as you're thinking about your ending, because it's probably pretty close to that point where we can probably revise our ending and ask ourselves, is it believable? Does it show us a lesson? Has the character changed throughout the whole story? And does it go back to that beginning? And is her challenge or his challenge, the main character's challenge, fixed? And so as I think about Penelope and her challenge of snowboarding and really persevering through it all, and at the beginning, I mean, she struggled from getting her boots on to learning how to walk in her snowboard to getting pulled up the hill on a tow rope, and finally, hours later, and even after a good night's sleep, she woke up the next morning and Penelope was able to snowboard. And so my beginning, remember, was the shh. I used the sound with the gloves going through, or the rope going through my gloves, and the struggle it took. And in the end, I haven't written mine yet, but I would probably say something along the lines how the next morning I woke up, the sun was shining, it was a little bit warmer than the day before. I threw on my boots, I tied them tight myself, and I got on that tow rope and I made it down myself and realized that the next hill I was going to make was the chairlift. And that shows right there, her confidence has changed. She made it down the hill. The sun was shining. It was going to be a better day. And of course, I'm sure her grandpa was at the bottom of the hill cheering her on too. So I'll have to add that in there also. I hope this makes sense to you. The examples hopefully will make sense. And if you need help, you know how to get a hold of me, and I'm here to help you. So I can't wait. And soon it's going to be our final draft. I will see you soon.